was 2013 when I first recognized and acknowledged that I had depression. But there was a culmination of events prior to 2013 that led to this point. In 2012, I had served, at that point, 12 years in the Army. And I volunteered for an assignment overseas. My mother, my son, and my friend took me to the airport so that I can go ahead and depart and start on my new journey overseas. About 5 minutes before boarding the plane, my mother was sitting there having a stroke. Of course, y'all can probably say, or no, I didn't get on that plane because my focus shifted to my mother. 2012 was the start of my mother's recovery. But I was also a soldier. So I continued on with the mission at hand, which was soldiering. I was able to take care of my mother, my unit, my leadership. They were very supportive during that time. Friends, the village I had built, they were all there for me during that time. So that was a part of life that was unexpected, but it turned into a blessing. My mother was able to fully recover. I continued to soldier, mother, daughter, do all them good things. But in 2013, I was hit with another blow. My son and I were coming home from work and school, and we were T-boned by another driver. Me quickly reacting, seeing what was coming ahead, I sped up the best I could, but got clipped at the end. That clip turned into hitting a stop sign pole and my Nissan Pathfinder flipping on its side. Of course, my military instincts kicked in once again. So I knew how to combat a combat role pretty much in the vehicle. Protected my son. Luckily, he was asleep at the time. But when he woke up and saw his mother hanging over him, y'all could only imagine the craziness that happened. We were blessed to get out of that vehicle and walk away with minor injuries. Got checked out. Son had a knot on his head. And I was just sore. At least I thought. Took the rest of the week off. Also had my master's graduation. I was graduating with my master's. So me being the person that I am, I still had responsibilities and things to do. So Superwoman got up the next morning after just being in an accident, had to go deliver a going away gift to one of my soldiers. Of course, I got fussed at, what are you doing here? Like, I wasn't just not gonna have the gift for my soldier. So I was told to go home, went the rest of the week, graduated with my master's, returned back to work. I was good. I was functioning, everything was good. Till I started getting these headaches, felt like somebody was squeezing my head. One minute I was happy, next minute I was sad, but it was all from the accident. Probably had some whiplash or something. Went to the doctors to find out that car accident resulted in me having a TBI. Okay, no problem. How do I get over this? It'll take time with you having an accident, blah, blah, blah. Fine. I go back to work and I'm soldiering and doing what I'm supposed to do. But the next day, got up, went to work, and had a sudden mood swing. I knew what the mood swing was from because I was still dealing with remnants from the car accident. So I said, I'm going to go ahead and go to sick call so I can get some quarters. So I went to tell my supervisor, and while in that office with my supervisor, I broke down. When I say broke down, I cried like a baby. Of course, my supervisor, never seeing me like this, sat there and just let me cry. Once I was able to gather myself together, he looked at me and he told me, I've only known you for a couple of months, but the high accolades and the positive feedback that I have received from individuals in regards to you, I know this is not you. I was aware of what happened with your mom and how you continue to support her, and I know of this car accident you just had. And I watch you come in here every day and do what you're supposed to do as a soldier. You don't show no emotion. You move forward. You do what you have to do. But I have to tell you, once you get done with sick call, you need to go to behavioral health. I looked at him and I told him, once I'm done with sick call, I won't go to behavioral health, but I'll go and I'll talk to a chaplain. Why wasn't I going to behavioral health? Because I was in the Army, in which there was a stigma. Even though nobody ever said it, there was a stigma. Behavioral health, you got looked upon a little differently. But I won't go there. I went and I saw a chaplain, and he recommended that I come to weekly sessions just to talk to him. But he also recommended that I go to behavioral health. Of course, me being the person that I am, I just said I'll think about it. But when I got home and I was sitting there, I realized there is something wrong with you. And it's not just from a car accident. It's not just from the health scare with your mother. You've been in the Army at that point 12 years. 2 deployments under your belt. You've seen people get shot. You almost got hit by a vehicle trying to support another country. You have bouts where you've hit your head while deployed. You've lived life. All of these events and things that have happened, Ladnise, is a culmination of where you are right now. You may actually want to take heed to what your supervisor said, to what the chaplain said, especially given when you went to the doctors and they did your CT scan for your head and they came back and told you you had a mild TBI. That there may be a little bit more. So I did go. But it wasn't to a group session. It was a one-on-one session. And I was able to learn coping mechanisms and ways to help and identify when I started to have those mood swings. And for the most part, it did help. But I also know it was more of me putting things to the back burner because I still had to soldier. I still had to be a mother. I still had to be a daughter. I still had to be a caretaker. So you suck it up and you drive on, as they say in the military. And that's what I did. I sucked it up and I drove on. But 2013, sitting in that office with my supervisor, was the first time that I realized that I suffered from a form of depression.